was 2004, and it was before the rise of, I guess what you would call post-hardcore and screamo now. I had some bands I listened to. I was always the metalhead, so I listened to my favorite bands at the time are Prayer for Cleansing, Between the Buried and Me, Black Dahlia Murder, a lot of just pretty much straight metal bands.
I was really into May and Between the Buried and Me around the time that Alesana started, and those two bands couldn't be much further apart from each other on the style spectrum. And while we were listening to a lot of other things, in the back of my mind I always wanted it to be that Alesana was sort of like May and Between the Buried and Me, clash in the middle, and whatever dynamics and styles those two bands bring to the table, I wanted to mingle them with Alesana.
Well, when we started Alesana, I was just getting introduced to a whole world of music that I never experienced before in my entire life. Just started listening to Census Fail and Yellow Card, and this whole world of underground music totally blew my mind. You combine all of Drive Through and early Victory and all those like early screamo and pop punk bands, and you just mesh them all together. I just had that rattling around inside. May, Spitalfield, Census Fail, Hawthorne Heights, Taking Back Sunday, Coheed and Cambria, Caliban is a random one. Between the Buried and Me was an enormous influence at first. When we moved to North Carolina, and some of the first friends we made down there exposed us to Between the Buried and Me, and wow, I couldn't believe it. Totally blew my mind.
I still held on very strongly to my pop punk roots. I think there's a lot of pop punk in Alesana. I was also really largely drawn to bands like Name Taken and North Star. I think you can hear a lot of those bands in the early stuff.
read a lot. And I know Sean did too, and how to be a good writer is to keep reading. I think we approach our lyrics that way, that we're coming into a song with a story, and then now we need to figure out how to tell that in a way that would make sense and put the right story with the right song.
We knew we wanted to take a different approach. That was to write entirely cooperatively, where, you know, his background and his style and mine get applied at the same time, as opposed to him writing a song and me writing a song, which we could have very easily done. We wanted to push each other. We wanted it to be so that his style would question mine and vice versa. And a lot of the times, some of the coolest moments that we had as songwriters when the light bulb went off, it was because of that.
And I think taking that deliberate time and not forcing it, like some songs just don't make the cut for an album because they just don't knit into the story, and some stories don't make it into an album because it makes no sense. And I think losing the ego about what you think is a good idea and writing lyrics with Sean, both of us being able to, you know, be a sounding wall for the other one and tell you, like, okay, that doesn't sound good. I mean, you're tired, or this is going to work, or that going to work. It's really kind of like the fires in a crucible that are purifying the metal. And it's just, you're burning away all the bullshit, and it's easier with somebody else.
Like it's kind of more like a realization, like you're coming to this realization that no matter how many times she keeps saying she's sorry, or that it keeps going back to normal, it's going to keep getting fucked up, and you're finally getting rid of it.
Okay.
You're finally just getting, and this is kind of like the whole, in the past she was, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like that, because since this is the chorus is usually the ultimate theme, and since these words work the best, that kind of changed it a little bit.
Cool. Okay.
Which
I can do that. No,
which
yeah,
doesn't-
I can change the
I
angle.
was gonna say it doesn't alter it entirely too much, because I felt like what we were writing was changing it. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
the original theme, none of us
yeah.
were writing to that theme,
Yeah,
so
cool.
it kind of played up to a new theme.
Alright, so I can just do it kind of like, just, you know, or
Like I'm taking
being good.
the vocals are taking the angle, the singing is taking the angle of like you're having trouble getting rid of it. We good yet, Pat?
Shark.
Oh, this song. That is the essence of the beginning of the band.
Oh,
And the absolute shithole that we lived in. This right here is where Pat and I wrote like 80% of our songs when the band first started. Once in a while we'd sit over there, but for the most part we'd sit right here. Pat would smoke his cigarettes and I'd sit here, not smoking a cigarette. If you look up at the windows above Charm City, that's where we played one of our last shows at TLE.
How do you spell it?
Alesana.
What?
Like Al, like
Yeah.
pale Al, and then Sana. So Alesana.
I
I don't know. Who thinks Hart's gonna come back with black hair? Second verse we go. It would make it a little bit longer. I got something I want to play along with you. Well, let me just show you quick. You gotta definitely start right from the start of that.
Chill for a little while.
But from the start, I gotta start playing. Like right in the beginning of the verse?
Yeah, right off the bat. awesome. Let's just keep the second verse.
Yeah, and
That would just mean I'd have to do the riff more. I like the. Oh, I've always liked these versions, but.
yeah, it is.
You turn your back, goodbye, good night for good. Remember my face when you feel the pain.
It just.
I like that line a lot.
Something about
Make you think
how far you went without them.
It's gonna be so weird to make it work. Now, if I have my eyes closed and things you won't know.
I want to say the things that you won't know. Now I'll fight with my eyes closed. All the things that you won't know. 2, 3, 4, and then whatever you did on the last one.
That last line is so important that we really need to. So I'm trying to think this last one to play as a breath thing here. Something about like without choking on remembers of you.
Love the word choke.
Singing before, hear that fucking asshole and his demon noise. That's all he's got. You hear me on guitar earlier? It was horrible. I can only make horrifying noises.
In those early days, too, some of our more popular songs today were different versions of those songs. Beautiful and Blue, Goodbye, Goodnight for Good are two that jump out to me as, when we recorded them for the very first time, are largely different than they are in their final versions that are known by the fans now.
A lot of how Sean and I lyrically work and morph each other's ideas in the very earliest and rawest phases of us meeting lyrically and getting to play around with each other's ideas and come up with songs that aren't mine or his anymore. They're Alesana's, and that's kind of how it works.
What the fuck?
Jealousy rears its ugly head. I will not forget what you said before. You turn your back. Goodbye, good night for good. Remember my face when you feel the pain. Now I'll fight with my eyes closed for the things I've let go.
And don't hit record till I point it. Hit 3, and then don't hit play first, and then hit record when I point it. Yeah. The only way it would, that's the way that you were explaining it to me. No.
Do it, bro.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna work.
Alright, I'm a little familiar.
Feel this way inside. So goodbye, goodbye.
I know so much more about everything that you do. I met one bitch, I'm sure it's a terrible thing.
Sleep without your memory and
Oh, you're gonna go for the falsetto.
I'm trying to do a falsetto, but I gotta find the note.
helps me to sleep without your memory and my shattered dreams. To feel this way.
That makes it less cheesy.
Yeah.
Like it instantly got rid of that slightly cheesy feel.
Is it?
Yep. Because if we were to chorus is flowy, the whole song's been flowy, it's gonna get that boring.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing this whole song type of feel, and I don't want that to happen, especially because it's gonna open up. And I like it better in the very beginning with just the bass and the riff. That sounded really, really cool.
I just remember there already being so much support, even right at the beginning. Like, it can't be very exciting to sit there and watch a few dudes sit on the ground and play the same part over and over and over again until they get it right. And yet we had that. We had people who were there and wanted to be there. And I think it's because something in the air felt special. It felt different than any other thing any of us had done up to that point as songwriters and band guys. And it just felt like something, we were on the cusp of something great. And I think people wanted to be around for that.
And just all being together, living in the same apartment, and that's just eating, sleeping, and breathing music.